Hi, so the purpose of this video is to show you what to do each week. And if it case, I mean, every new online course is a little bit different how what the instructors are looking for. So um, let me show you what I'm expecting. Okay, so I'm in Canvas. We want to log on to Canvas. This is the place to start each week. And then you can click on this course modules link or that modules link. I'll usually just do this one. And then what you'll see is you'll see each week I'll have a here. Let me collapse these all. You'll see as each week goes on, I'll add it on, and I don't re-rank them. I just put them like week two will show up under week one, week three will show up under week two. So by the end of the semester, there's 15, 16 modules. So what you can do is see that expand all or condense all, or you can do this down. That'll stay open until you say I don't want to see it anymore. So then you can click collapse or you can collapse it this way just to make it easier to manipulate. So the first thing you want to do each week, don't neglect this. In fact, I got it in your to-do list. Let's come back to that to-do list. You see that as soon as it populates, that's something you want to click on and read. I mean, the reason you want to look at that is I tell you what I'd like you to do this week. So I'm going to click on it and go there this way. So um, you can do the you can do some reading in the book. The reading in the book is your kind of style, and it's a nice online PDF. It's free. I got links to it in Canvas. I never remember to do that. I just Google Lipman Open Precalc, and that's the book there. You can download the full PDF. You got detailed solutions. Sometimes being a free textbook, it doesn't go quite through the same level of checking that a $150 textbook will get you. But so there are some errors in the detailed solutions, but you can just pay attention to that. So if your work's not agreeing with their work or their answers, you let me know. And of course, the answers are in the back too, but that just the answers are. So, um, so here's week one. I have the whole thing downloaded. Let's see if I can get there. Nope, that's somebody's old work. Good, there's no name on it, so I don't have to show you that. I don't have to stop and redo this. Let's see here. Just a minute here. I'm going to pause this. I don't want to have to stop this video. Okay, so I got things cleaned up here. Here's the PDF version of that textbook. Um, I always just call it Lipin text. Melanie Rasmussen is certainly a co-author of this book, and I don't know who wrote what. I don't see her name much in the materials since like My Open Math, she doesn't seem to be part of. But it's their book. I like the way they think. I think it prepares you for calculus. That's why I use this book for my Oxbow students too, my high school students. So let me collapse this. So what they have in here, maybe I should continue what I was talking about. So they have all the examples. You know, if reading a textbook and looking at examples is your cup of tea, I would certainly use it. I know it's my cup of tea. I'll look through that because I can read more quickly than I can watch a video. Um, make a note of some of this. I'm hoping the early in this course is review for you. Um, but it's been a while since you've looked at math and done algebra. It's probably worth spending some time here. And then what I have is once you get through all they have the try it nows and examples, you can work through them. And they have the try it now somewhere here. We'll come up to one. I know they're in this textbook. Um, Here, there's try it now, and those have the answers in the back also. You can get a check on it. And the toolkit functions are important to look at because right now my summer pre-calc class is struggling with rational functions. Not everybody, but the difference between the reciprocal function and reciprocal squared function. And it comes back to us. And they have all kinds. Then you kind of come down here, oh, you know what I can do? Let me just click on the exercises. So then they have the exercises you can try. Now, I don't grade any of these. You don't send me any work. But I would encourage you to do is, especially if something's giving you a hard time, I would look at these odd numbered exercises because you have access to the answers. And what I have here in Canvas, um, here, let me come back to Canvas. Is this it? And this is my view as a student. Here we go. Courses, pre-calc. Here we go. So if you come here to modules, and then we're going to look at week one overview. There we go. So what I have is we look at the textbook. If you want some video exercises, video explanations like lecture style, I've got these things I did for my Oxbow classes back when I was trying to get them to watch videos for homework and take notes and then come into class and do the work in class. Marginally successful. I still have them available for everybody, but nobody ever uses them. But I guess till I got them recorded, I'll let you certainly have access to them. Like I say here, when I watch instructional videos, I usually play it back double speed. And that's usually, I can usually catch that and understand and slow down if I need it. But this is optional. It might not be your cup of tea either. So here, let me come back to the modules and then that week one overview. And then I'll have, so out of the textbook, and these, as I was starting to say, that those the odd numbered exercises in the textbook are ungraded, but I think they're worth doing if you're struggling. Don't know if I would take the time to do them all. And if you're having trouble without the MARP and math, then certainly find the corresponding exercises here in the sections and look at those. Um, Okay, let's go to that next part, the MYOP and math. I think I'm here. Nope, I want to get that out of the way. Let's see. Yeah, here I'm in here as a student, and this is what you'll see. You'll see week one, and this is what's available for week one. The three sections you have to do. If you click on it, everybody gets a random set of numbers, or like if you clicked on this, you'd probably see different numbers. And this one's strictly multiple choice. You can advance the next one, you can advance it that way, or you can do the drop down and advance that way. Um, and see a lot of them in this first section are adjustable. So here's a situation we have to key something in. So there's a video. You can message me if you want to. I would encourage that you not do that with the homework exercises because you could post a question and said, I'm not doing something right here. Like, for example, if you were to type in x minus 7 squared, and you can use the keyboards. I don't, the keyboard I'm using keyboard shortcuts. I'm not using and then what is it, y minus 9. I don't know if you know what I did wrong with this. If you've looked at the video, not 2 squared or 4. I'm going to write 4. Okay, this is going to get marked wrong. And the reason I'm wrong is because the formula is x minus the x coordinate of the center. So that should have been plus 7. And then y minus the y coordinate of the center, which is 9, so it becomes minus 9. See, then I get it right. Notice how I've been deducted. I got part of that. My first attempt was wrong, and I lost a third of a point. Well, you can at any point in time here, I can get this new question and have a full try again. So I'm going to write x plus 6 squared plus y squared because I'm not going to, whoops, plus 10. Duh, plus y squared because y minus 0, you could write in y minus 0 if you wanted to. And then you got to square the radius equals 16. And then I submit the question and there we go. I got it right this time. It's going to show up as full credit. You can see what things you've got full credit on and which ones you haven't. The ones where you don't have full credit will be have a little yellow. It'll either be 0 or you'll have a yellow point value. Let's go. I don't know. Is this really what I should be doing this video? Um, let's see. This is okay. Well, okay, let's look at this. About toolkit functions. I see a quadratic function for f. That means the y's will always be positive, and it'll be the square of the values. So let's see. 2 squared. So that's going to be f because that's a quadratic equation. And then I've got a linear function. In fact, that's the identity function where y equals y and x equals x. So let's just find that there. And then that one. So that's A. I see a cubic function. So the x's are getting raised to the third power. So there we go. -2 to the third power is -8. So this is B. And then I got a square root function, which isn't defined for negative numbers. So that must be the square root function. I see, I wanted to get these wrong, one of these wrong, as you can see here. So this is a reciprocal function. I'm gonna say that it's I'm gonna say that it's I'm gonna say, let's see, there's the reciprocal function. I'm gonna say that this is A, and that's gonna get marked wrong. And then here, let's just mark the rest of them wrong, or maybe I'll blind guess. Let's see, that's the absolute value function, which is C. See how the x's are just getting made positive. I think that's, I don't know. Let's see if I get one wrong, or if yeah, see how it's yellow? So I can get a similar question now, or you can say, see how it's marked yellow? I got 0.83 out of 1. I don't know. I maybe figure out what I did wrong and then I would go on. The one reason I was doing this is because sometimes you're putting in a correct answer and Math doesn't understand what you're putting in. So what I do, and that can be very frustrating when you're putting time into these questions. I know I've been there. That's why I do this policy. Um, Try all the exercises, earn at least a 70%. So you'll see how do you see the percentage on your assignment? But there is a way to see the percentage on your assignment. Maybe it's here. I don't know. See, right now, here it is. So I've got a 10.6%, not going to get me full credit. If you were to try them all and get a 70%, I would write that in, at least a 70%, I would write in full credit into Canvas, okay? Doesn't work that way with quizzes that are out here. I give you the grade that you get. And now, but with that said, you usually have 2 or 3 attempts for each quiz question in the MyOpen Math quiz, okay? And you can always send me work and I'll adjust that grade. Okay, so that's the MyOpen Math part. You get 3 things to do with it in uh cancel. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, isn't that weird? I'm not going to leave that page. I'm going to keep on this page. I'm going to go back to Canvas. Okay, so if you're getting something wrong in MyOpen Math, try the corresponding one out of the textbook. I think it'll help you. Um, I talk about the 70%, and then you get 2 discussion forum questions to make. The first one for week 1 is going to be the introduction question. Okay, so let me come back here to modules. Make sure you see the intro questions. So up think here, and here's the introduction questions. I don't think anybody's made this other than me. Let's hopefully not. Have I posted mine? See, I haven't even posted mine. For the first post, it can happen anytime. It'd be better to get this done day 1. You have to get it done. For this week, I'm going to take them both on Monday night if you don't make it. But typically, the first post is due on Saturday night. And I do this to make sure that people don't wait till the last minute to get this work done. Is that you? Is making that due on Saturday night the magic key to get people to post? I would say for most people. Some people don't, and they lose those 10 points. All these discussion forum posts that you're going to make throughout the semester is worth 10% of your grade. All the MyOpen and math assignments you do is also worth 10% of your grade. And then the quizzes and tests are each worth 40. Of course, you can read that and how I'm getting graded, but not a big percentage of the course, but every little bit helps. Having a good result in your discussion forum post, that's going to get 10% added to whatever grade you have out of quizzes and tests. It's worth doing. Completing most of those MyOpen math questions are going to add to your grade. So not only will you add to the grade, but you'll look at some learning how to do the MyOpen math. And the thing that's useful with the discussion forum posts is that this first one aside, this is basically who you are, what school you're in, what are you studying, why are you here, or you could do this. Who am I? I'm from poem. If you're kind of into poetry and you want to do it that way, you'll see my example of it. You don't have to do this. Um, you you do have to do at least do this. If you want to include that as part of this your poem, that's great. Um, it is a graded. Looks like I got a due date. I got to change there. Yep, it's going to be Saturday. Usually it's Saturday. What is it, September? Um, yeah, Saturday, September 6th. I'll normally when it would be due. But like I said, I'll take this up through the first week and to get to those points. The other post that you'll want to do is um, down here, the post number two. And what this can be is it can be a question. It can be a question. Here's another due date I gotta fix. It's a good thing I'm making this video. Um, but you got to, I got this. How am I graded to do what to do each week there? Let's see what it looks like. It looks like I got to fix that link. And uh, and then what makes a discussion good discussion forum post? Chances are I need to fix that link too. I have both those there. Basically, what you want to do is you want to reply. You can post some work to the textbook. Try to do even numbered exercises, because if you do the even numbered exercises, this is like getting you ready. This is getting you ready for quizzes, right? And exams. If you do post work to something that you like, if you were to post the work for number 7, the answers in the back of the book. The detailed solutions are out at the book textbook's website. Um, will I give you points for that? Sure. Will I comment back to you? Probably not, because you've got the answers. But if you were to post your work for an odd numbered, even numbered exercise, you don't have those answers available. So yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, you did this great, perfect. Or I'll say, maybe do it this way. Here's a suggestion. Or if you got it wrong, I'll also say, hey, thanks for posting it. Here's how I would do this question. Okay, this is to get you ready. Okay. This kind of question here, finding the domain or range with something that's got a square root and a rational function. So worth looking at them and ask you that on quizzes and exams. Then the piecewise defined functions, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, can come from any of the current week chapters or sections. Um, so section 1, 2, or 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. It can be, I don't say this in what's a good post, but you certainly can show work to a MyOpen math question. That's great. With that said, you don't want to do an easy one because there's not much you can say about that. I mean, the point of these discussion forum posts is if somebody's having a hard time with something, they can go look at your work and say, "Oh, this is how that person did it," and go back and get their work done too. It can even work with quizzes. If somebody didn't quite do all the work they should have, getting prepped up. If you have work posted to a hard question in the week 1 forum, discussion forum, maybe that'll help somebody get a question right on the quiz, and maybe it'll urge them to do a little more work prepping for them. Okay, want you to get you ready for the calculus 1, right? Calc 2. So yeah, that's basically what you got to do each week. You got to, look at the weekly overview. Yeah, look at the weekly overview. Um, to know what you're doing. If there's a quiz, I'll tell you. See, this assessment of prior learning. I'll tell you there's a quiz that week, and I'll tell you it's out at MyOpen Math or it's here in Canvas. It always covers the reason people say, why do you call it assessment of prior learning? That's because it always covers last week's work. I won't ever ask you a question about the current week's work. So My advice is the next week two will open up on Saturday. I just said it, didn't I? Week two will open up on Saturday the 6th. So if you get yourself working ahead, you'll be able to start the next week right off the bat, get the quiz knocked off, and then have the rest of the week to get the get the new material done. And then I'll repeat the process. Yeah, I encourage you to do this. I encourage you to work ahead. This will be open. This will be open Labor Day weekend. I would encourage you to take a little bit of that holiday weekend and do a little pre-calc. That way that you'll be setting yourself up for success throughout the semester, not having to play catch up. Nobody learns well out of with stress and deadlines. Um, the only other thing I'll do with this video is if you need some help, please email me with a with an inbox. You can also book, no, Dan, let's see here. Home. You can also book some live time slots with me using this Calendarly website. I don't use Canvas's website because I can't lock it up. I need to know 12 hours in advance that you're going to meet with me, or because I'll miss it. So, like right now, I'm so this weekend, this Friday, I'm doing this in June, as you can see, in June 20th. Uh, I'm available for like 3:30, 4:30. On Saturdays, I have more time available. And what you do is if that works for you, click on the time you want and then put in your name. Here, I'll do Joe Patabucci. And then you give it an email address. You can do your use your any of these any of oh, not funny that that's got a name there. Um you can do any of that. I would use an email address that you check, and then you don't want to add guests because it's just us. I don't think I'll let you add guests, but anyways, and then if you want to, you can tell me what you need help with. You don't have to do that, and then you'll schedule an event. Um, let's see. Whoops, I'm putting in the wrong place, aren't I? I'll tell you, I'm having a hard time putting things in the right boxes. Let's see. Yeah, here, that's the one I want. And then you can tell me to schedule the event. What'll happen is you'll get an email, I get an email. Yeah, I guess you could accept it. You don't really have to. Um, I won't send you a Zoom link until shortly before that meeting. I don't usually schedule Zooms. Truthfully, I usually get lost finding where the scheduled meeting is. So I open up the meeting and send you the link. Um, Okay, so I guess that's it. And then the other thing, if my times don't work for you, like, do you let me know what does work? What time does work? And right, if you're not available any of these times, or you're not available, and if you're not available these times, tell me what works for you. During the school year, I'm tied up with my high school teaching job from about 7 until 3:30. That's why I don't have times before 3:30. Okay, because I don't want to. Try to keep Oxbow and CCV separate because I never want to be accused of spending double dipping with my time. Truthfully, Oxbow keeps me pretty darn busy teaching high schoolers. So. Yeah, so that's that. Oh no, I was going to do this one other thing. If my times don't work for you or you've used tutoring.com before, you can click on that. See, yeah, I'm in here as a student, so I don't have access to that, but you do. In fact, you get 10 hours given to you for tutoring.com. And I've heard the good things about them. I do know one thing I do like what they do is they make sure that if somebody's there getting help with something, they make darn sure it's not a quiz or a test. They won't help you learn calculus to do pre-calculus work. That's nice. Um, yeah, I guess that's it. So that's another way to get help. And then I'm sure your local CCV learning center has live in person um, times too that you could go see. My experience, should I say this? My experience when I used to do live in person in Montpelier, Um, the people were learning things in a way differently than what I usually teach it as, and it's hard to you got to make sure that the tutor it understands what your instructor is asking you to do. I mean, I was usually able to figure out and help the person, but you got to come in there with some idea of how you're expected to learn it. Okay, and then with this aside, those AI tools do a great job with helping you walk through it. Um, I have high school students, I have college students that sometimes try to pass off AI results as their own work, and it's usually noticeable. I can't say they don't get it past me, um, but the point of this course is to get you ready for future work. So um, I guess I can probably stop rambling and let you get on back on with your day. So yeah, give me a help. I'm here to help. I want to help you out. Please use me. Uh, at a minimum, ask discussion, in the discussion forums. I try to help, and other people can help. That's the other thing you can do for your discussion forum posts. If somebody's asked a question and I haven't beat you to it, um, go ahead and respond to that person. Help them out. And I'll say this again: please don't post questions about quiz items or exam items or help somebody out. If somebody just ignores that and posts it, please don't help them out because I'll have to delete those posts and I'll send you kind of a stern email saying, please don't do this again. Okay. And you'll have to make up and make another post. So this comes from years ago before we had online homework portals and way to do random test questions. Did paper tests. You had to print it, do the work. Somebody posted all their work to one of the tests, one of the exams. I don't know why. I deleted it. So ever since then, that's why I instituted that policy. So please don't do that. All right. So here we go. I guess I'm done. I'm going to shut up and let you get back to your day. And no, I'm here to help you.